A woman who loves dogs more than people wants to be your next CU Regent. That's not the right thing to say. Heidi Ganahl, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jen.
All right, before we get into this, the race for Regent, Camp Bow Wow. This was like a luxury hotel for dogs, right?
It's
this was
actually
your business.
Where a dog can be a dog. It's all about keeping them happy and healthy and safe. And
God, what is this feel-good doggy stuff?
It's actually a $60 billion industry.
You're a Republican. You're supposed to eat the dogs, not take care of them.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. No.
No, they don't taste bad.
Oh, John.
All right, so you formed this company, and you built it out of nothing, right?
Did.
And you sold it for
a lot of dog kibble.
A lot of dog kibble.
Yeah.
And so you're a self-made businesswoman.
I am. I'm the American dream.
Why in the world would you want to be CU Regent?
Well, I like to call it the most important race people have not heard of in Colorado. It's actually, University of Colorado is involved in all of our lives. It contributes $7 billion to the Colorado state economy. It's the third largest employer in the state, and it educates a big chunk of our workforce. So it's an important part of our economy and important to most Colorado folks, and we need some good people running that organization.
They're nuts. It's CU. All right. What's interesting about your race is that we have these races for CU Regent, and how many seats are there now? There are 9. So there are 7 seats, 1 for each congressional district, and then 2 at large.
That's
Do I have
correct.
that right? And you are running for
An at-large seat.
All right, so this is a statewide seat.
Yes.
And the balance of power at the CU Regents is at play here. Alice Madden, your opponent, who we will also invite to come on and chat with me, I don't get a feeling that the real motivation there is education, since her whole life's career has been on the environmental left. Do I have that part wrong?
Well, I wonder about that too. I'm in this because I care about education, and I think it's the key to keeping the American dream alive, and I was blessed to have a great education, and I think it played into that. I don't think we're focused on the right issues when we're having these conversations about climate change and divestment from fossil fuels. I think we got to talk about tuition and keeping kids safe on campus and freedom of speech. I think those are the things voters want to know about when we're talking about Regent.
But why this Regent seat has moved from just being a Regent seat, which people would spend $3,000 in campaign funds and hopefully get on, and usually done a pretty good job. This is going to be a huge race thanks to the billionaire Tom Steyer, who is the Californian billionaire who has been funding the environmental left. Why in the world does he care about a Regent seat in Colorado?
Well, we should ask him that, or ask Alice that, because I'm pretty shocked that he's putting millions of dollars into college races around the country to get universities to divest from fossil fuels. In Colorado, the energy industry is a very important part of our economy, and if you try and make this about political issues or like the divestment issue, you're getting away from the real issues around running a university, and it's not good for anyone to do that.
Where do they invest in this? Are you talking about retirement investments? Or are you talking about bonds? Because
it's the endowment. So it's the CU endowment, and I'm on the University of Colorado Foundation Board of Directors, so I'm pretty familiar with the endowment. We keep an eye on that, and we fundraise to beef up that endowment. And so the university uses the investments off the endowment to keep tuition costs low, to help run the university. So it's important to get the best returns you can on that endowment.
Bruce Benson has been the longest serving president of CU for some 50 years or something. No, really, quite seriously.
Like 8.
No. He's got the longest record. Yeah. Nobody, the last one who had a record this long was 50 years ago.
Oh, got it,
All right.
Yes.
All right. And he only takes $1 a year salary. Because he's not very good at arithmetic either. And so, the scam of higher ed is kind of like city managers. They come in for 3 years, do what they want to do, and then get a raise and move to the next bigger town. Is Bruce's tenure at stake here? Because he has brought so much money into CU and has changed it, and hasn't been the ideologue that the left seemed to fear when he took the job.
He's done some pretty fantastic things at CU. He's kept tuition rates to the lowest in a decade. He's raised more money privately. He's set records in the last couple of years for that, him and the Regent Board and the team of people that work at the development team at CU. So I think he's doing a lot of the right things. Administration expenses are down lower than 28% of the rest of the universities around the country, similar universities. So applying good business sense to running a university makes a lot of sense, and that's why I think I've got the right qualifications to come in and help run the university.
So is this race, is this going to be a shadow campaign about whether Bruce Benson remains as president of CU?
I do think that's going to be a big part of it, based on some comments that my opponent made a long time ago about Bruce Benson when he was hired. I don't think she thought he was the best choice for the position, and I do think that Bruce's position is at stake, and I think it's important, very important, to keep the momentum going and to keep all the good things the current Regent Board, which is a conservative majority, and Bruce have initiated.
Why in the world do you want this job? This is an awful job. And I've had awful jobs. This is an awful job. You're going to get an earful from students. You're going to get an earful from the faculty who think they actually run the place. You're not going to have as much power as you think you do because the faculty runs the insane asylum. What's drawing you to this?
Well, I come from franchising, and so in the franchising world, I had 150 plus franchisees that I had to listen to all the time, and they had a lot of different viewpoints, a lot of complaints. But at the end of the day, we were able to bring everybody together and create a really cool brand, a $100 million brand in the pet care space. And I think that if you bring that kind of mentality to CU, listen to all the different people that are involved, use your best business sense. They trust you as a leader if they elect you and trust you to lead the university. Hopefully you can do some good things and keep the university on the right track. I love CU. I graduated from CU Boulder a long time ago. And
when did you graduate from CU Boulder?
1988.
I beat you by a couple years there.
So
and you actually value your CU education?
I do. I think
You're the person. What did you get your degree in?
Business and marketing.
I had a minor in business. And now I'm doing this.
You're doing okay. You're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. Don't worry, it wasn't because of CU.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. All right, what is the #1 change that CU needs to make? And there's been talk about how you change the funding. There are kids who leave school with $100,000 of debt and they're walking away with a humanities degree.
That's
and
right.
this I find to be sinful. What needs to be fixed?
Well, I think the first, if you picked one thing, it's making sure that students that graduate get great jobs. Not jobs that someone with a high school diploma can work with, which is, I think, 50% of the kids that get out of school end up in a job that they only needed a high school diploma for. And making sure that they get jobs that they kind of know what they're going to earn. They have a good kind of a reality check going into college. Like, if I'm going to go for an engineering degree, I'm probably going to make this much money, and here's what the job market looks like. If I'm going to get an Italian Renaissance degree, then this is probably my prospect for getting a job and how much money I'm going to make.
And you don't think students understand that yet?
No, I think there's a new website that came out recently that tries to start down that road, but they only track in-state jobs, so it's not complete, but it's a good start. I think, any investment you look at, if you're a parent and investing money into tuition, or if you're a student, you want to see what your return on investment is going to be, and that's very important.
It's an odd thing, the creature that is CU, because it is mostly independent from the state, yet it gets a fair amount of state funding. So therefore, well, that little bit is still my state funding.
Yes.
And so we have tenure issues, we've got retirement issues. This is still, the flagship university of the state. Is it time to separate Colorado University and the state completely? This is something that pops up every now and then, and saying, it's kind of like listening to NPR or public television where they say, oh, we only get this much money from the federal government, so don't tell us what to do. And I'm thinking, well, stop taking the federal money, NPR, and then nobody will complain about your bias. Is it time for CU to do that?
No, I think the state gets a great return on investment on a lot of programs that CU offers to our community. There are over, I think, 200 community clinics out in rural Colorado. CU Anschutz is doing amazing things to provide health care in the community. We've got the cybersecurity program down at UCCS. So I think it's a great investment of dollars. The problem is the dollars are getting shorter and shorter. So we've got to figure out new, innovative ways to fund the university.
Just a few seconds left. this is not your first time at the rodeo. You've been involved with CU for a while.
Yeah.
How so?
On the CU Foundation Board, and then I also was involved at the business school and the business school board and helped launch a program called the Center for Education on Social Responsibility there.
You're not doing this just because you care about new energy economy. This is actually something about CU.
I think all of us have to put our hand up and be the change we want to see in the world, and this is my contribution. So,
people want to get more information about your campaign. Where do they go?
HeidiGanahl.com, or check out the Facebook page. We're having a lot of fun and following the campaign trail.
Terrific. And again, we'll ask Alice Mountain to join us as well.
That'd be great.
Listen for me on KHOW Radio. Tell a friend about the Independence Institute. That's independenceinstitute.org. And we'll see you next week.